In May 2000, a suitcase containing numerous human body parts was found on the Pearl River, revealing a tragic story. No one expected that the perpetrator was a young, beautiful girl working at a tea house. The image of the 21-year-old female prisoner smiling before execution haunts many. On the way to the execution ground, the female prisoner hummed a song and recited a 12-character-long poem. How could a beautiful young girl commit such a heinous crime? What reason made this female prisoner so calm when facing death? Let us decode the case of China's most beautiful 21-year-old female prisoner with this haunting, tragic love story. But first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to receive notifications whenever there are new videos. This is a real case that occurred in 2000 in Guangzhou City, Guangdong Province, China. On the morning of May 18, 2000, a man claiming to be businessman Huang Yutian appeared at the police station, looking exhausted and sad, reporting that his wife Fan Yun had been missing for 2 days. Huang Yuxian stated that Fan Yun never left home for more than a day without informing him, which made him extremely worried and anxious. When the police interrogated him about his marital status and asked whether there had been any disputes between the couple, Huang Yuxian responded hesitantly, as if hiding something. Huang Yuxian's unnatural behavior and discomfort aroused the police's suspicions, but they did not immediately expose him, instead continuing to investigate Fan Yun's social relationships. That same afternoon, the police received a report from citizens about finding a suitcase floating on the Pearl River with a strong, foul odor. When the police arrived, the suitcase had already been pulled to the shore by the locals for inspection. An officer stepped forward to open the suitcase, but was startled and stepped back as inside were human body parts that had been torn into many pieces and were in a state of severe decomposition. Based on Huang Yuxian's description of the missing person's clothing and physical features, the police requested him to come for identification and DNA testing. The forensic examination results later confirmed that the unfortunate woman in the suitcase was Fan Yun, Huang Yuxian's wife. The time of death was determined to be May 15, 3 days before he reported his wife's disappearance. When summoned back to the police station, Huang Yuxian sat with his head bowed, looking pensive and occasionally sobbing as if enduring extreme pain. Under the pressure of police interrogation, he eventually confessed that he had an extramarital affair with a young girl, and his infidelity had been discovered by Fan Yun. Before being murdered, Fan Yun went to meet her husband's mistress to warn the young woman. Continuing to track Fan Yun's relationships and final schedule, the police discovered that she had an appointment to view paintings with a woman before she disappeared, but no one knew the exact identity or address of this individual. Strangely, at the same time Fan Yun was murdered, Huang Yuxian's mistress also disappeared mysteriously and became unreachable. Through investigation, the police identified Huang Yuxian's lover as Liu Dongmei, who hails from Hanam. When the police visited the tea house where Liu Dongmei worked, the manager stated that she had suddenly resigned and returned to her hometown on May 15th, coinciding with the day Fan Yun was murdered. This information made Liu Dongmei the prime suspect. The police quickly set off to Hanam to search for her and clarify the case. On June 1st, the police went to Liu Dongmei's house in Hanam. As soon as she saw the authorities, the beautiful girl showed clear signs of confusion, her face turning pale and her hands trembling. After only a few questions, Liu Dongmei confessed that out of jealousy, she had murdered the mistress Fan Yun, the wife of her lover Huang Yutian. However, what shocked the police even more was that Liu Dongmei did not act alone, but was also involved with another person. So, who was the accomplice with Liu Dongmei, helping this young and beautiful girl to carry out the above brutal crime? Liu Dongmei was born into a peasant family in Hanam Province in 1981. From a young age, she inherited her parents' full beauty with a delicate face, charming dimples, and a sweet smile. Every time people saw Liu Dongmei running and jumping around the village, The villagers couldn't stop praising. Little Dongmei is so lovely. She will surely grow up to be as beautiful as a fairy. Every time she heard such praiseworthy words, Liu Dongmei's parents felt very proud, their smiles stretching to their ears. And it was also thanks to the love and affection from her family and the constant praise from those around her that Liu Dongmei gradually became proud and confident in her own beauty. As the years passed, Liu Dongmei grew up and became a beautiful young woman, attracting many gazes. With a beauty like a flower, Liu Dongmei's confidence and elegant demeanor made many young men in the area infatuated, seeking every way to attract her attention. However, living in such pampering, she paid little attention to her studies, believing that her appearance would be the key to opening up a favorable life. Then one day, Liu Dongmei realized that life in her hometown was too boring, insufficient to satisfy her aspirations for adventure and exploration. At 18 years old, Liu Dongmei approached her parents and expressed her intention to leave her hometown for a big city to experience new and different things. When her daughter spoke, her parents did not hesitate at all, but immediately asked acquaintances to help send her to a secondary tourism school in Zhengzhou. Upon setting foot in Zhengzhou, standing among the skyscrapers for the first time, Liu Dongmei seemed enchanted by the splendor of the big city. From that moment, she told herself she would never return to the countryside, but would stay here to build her career, where a modern and dazzling life awaited. During her time at school, with her outstanding beauty and confident demeanor, Liu Dongmei quickly became the goddess of the school. All the male students were infatuated with her and sought ways to attract her attention. Among them was a student named Wang Lang. Like other boys, Wang Lang also tried to win Liu Dongmei's favor and gave her many romantic gifts. He spared no effort, trying bit by bit to approach Liu Dongmei, creating moments full of affection and sincerity. After many persistent pursuits, Wang Lang finally won Liu Dongmei's heart. However, Liu Dongmei accepted the relationship mostly because Wang Lang was always attentive and helped her feel cherished, rather than out of genuine love. During their time together, Wang Lang constantly fulfilled all of Liu Dongmei's requests, always accompanying the beauty in every moment of life. Friends commented that Wang Lang and Liu Dongmei were not a perfect match for each other, and even feared that this relationship would not last long. But for Wang Lang, that did not matter. He just needed to know that Liu Dongmei agreed to stay by his side during their student years. And no matter what, Wang Lang was willing to give up everything for the girl he loved. In 1909, 998, at the school's request, Liu Dongmei was assigned to intern at a large hotel in Guangzhou, with the job of serving at the tea room. In the meantime, her boyfriend Wang Lang was sent to intern at a hotel in Hainan. Before parting, Wang Lang sincerely promised Liu Dongmei, "I will try hard, achieve certain success, and then return to marry you." Those words, though simple, ignited in Liu Dongmei the hope for a happy future with the one she loved. She gently nodded in agreement, and the lovers parted, beginning a period of long-distance love. At that time, mobile phones were not yet widespread, so communication between them became quite difficult. At first, both tried to keep in touch through handwritten letters, filled with longing and borrowed phones, to call each other a few times a week. However, as the internship became increasingly busy and everyone's schedules were inconsistent, calls and letters gradually became sparse. From calling every few days, now it was only every few weeks, sometimes even a month to have a conversation. This caused the distance between them to grow, and they gradually had fewer opportunities to share life's ups and downs and joys and sorrows. Wang Lang, with the resilience of a man, endured hardships at work and continuously strived to gain experience, nurturing hopes for the future. Meanwhile, Liu Dongmei, a young woman, though strong, still needed a sense of security in a relationship deep down. It was at this time that a man named Huang Yuxian entered her life, and his appearance changed everything. Huang Yutian was a wealthy businessman who often brought partners to the tea house where Liu Dongmei worked to discuss business. Wang Yuqian's mature and elegant demeanor quickly captivated Liu Dongmei. With his extensive life experience, Wang Yuqian quickly recognized Liu Dongmei's admiring gaze and knew she was developing special feelings for him. In a short period, a secret romantic relationship blossomed between them. Wang Yuqian was very generous with Liu Dongmei. He not only gave her luxurious gifts like fashionable shoes and handbags, but also took her to upscale restaurants and high-end hotels to experience a luxurious lifestyle. Faced with these alluring temptations, even though she still remembered Wang Lang, Liu Dongmei gradually fell, allowing herself to be drawn into sweet experiences with Wang Yuqian. Wang Lang in distant Hainan was unaware of his girlfriend's infidelity. The naive young man still believed that working hard to earn more money would make Liu Dongmei happy. However, after some time, he noticed that Liu Dongmei no longer called him frequently, and when he did reach her, her attitude was very cold. Once, Wang Lang called Dongmei's workplace as usual, but this time the person who answered was her colleague. From this person, Wang Lang discovered that his girlfriend had been with another man. In pain and anger, he took the opportunity of a day off to meet Liu Dongmei and clarify everything. Faced with the questioning, she did not evade but candidly admitted to having another man. Although he still had feelings for Liu Dongmei, Wang Lang decided to break up because he could not accept the betrayal. After breaking up with Wang Lang, Liu Dongmei devoted herself wholeheartedly to Wang Yuqian and desired to move towards marriage. However, every time she brought up marriage, Wang Yuqian would evade the topic, causing Dongmei to become suspicious. She began to investigate her boyfriend and soon discovered a horrifying truth. Wang Yuqian was already married. Outraged, Liu Dongmei confronted her boyfriend and loudly accused him, saying, "You already have a family, yet you still dare to bother me. Are you sick?" In response to Liu Dongmei's anger, Wang Yuqian knelt down and sweetly said, "It's true that I have a wife, but I don't love her at all. Trust me, once we resolve this matter, you will become my legal wife." The man's words, admitting he had a family, crushed Liu Dongmei. She wiped away her tears and choked out, "I believe you." Thus, their secret relationship continued until Fan Yun, Wang Yuqian's wife, discovered it. Fan Yun was extremely angry upon finding out her husband had an affair, so she decided to move out, take their child, and go to her parents' house. Realizing what was more important, Wang Yuqian immediately sought to stop his wife. He promised to completely cut ties with Liu Dongmei. Faced with her husband's repentant attitude and thinking of their children, Fan Yun reluctantly forgave him, but warned, "Resolve this matter properly and never repeat it." After that, Wang Yuqian approached Liu Dongmei, explaining that their relationship needed to end and emphasized that he would never see her again. His words left Dongmei feeling distressed and dissatisfied. She sought out Wang Yuqian multiple times, hoping he would change his decision, but to no avail. A few days later, Fan Yun went to the tea shop where Liu Dongmei worked and berated and humiliated her in front of all her colleagues, threatening that Liu Dongmei should not associate with Wang Yuqian. The public humiliation deeply offended Liu Dongmei. Upon returning home, her frustration grew as she thought more about Fan Yun's arrogant attitude. Anger, jealousy, and hatred gradually accumulated in her heart until it overwhelmed her reason, leading Liu Dongmei to develop a desire for revenge. Of course, a fragile woman like Liu Dongmei couldn't carry out all the revenge plans by herself, so she thought of her ex-boyfriend, Wang Lang. Before their breakup, Wang Lang had told her, "Even if you encounter any difficulties in the future, don't hesitate to reach out to me." Clinging to this lifeline, Liu Dongmei decided to call Wang Lang to share her troubles, hoping to receive help from her old love. Through her sobs, Liu Dongmei recounted that she had been cruelly deceived by Wang Yuqian. She told Wang Lang that Wang Yuqian actually had a wife and child. Upon learning this, Wang Yuqian's wife devised a plan to lure her to a hotel. There, Liu Dongmei was drugged, and when she woke up, she was horrified to find herself lying next to an older man. More painfully, her shameful images were captured and used by Huang Yuxian's wife to blackmail her. These words were merely a fabricated act created by Liu Dongmei to appeal to Wang Lang's compassion and to exploit his feelings. Upon hearing Liu Dongmei's sobbing cries and her humiliating story, Wang Lang became furious with resentment. He immediately left Hainan and went to Guangzhou without any hesitation. After some discussions, the two devised a plan to lure Fan Yun into a trap by inviting her to view some famous paintings. Knowing that Fan Yun had a passion for painting, especially the painting Qingming Shanghai II, Liu Dongmei and Wang Lang set up an intricate trap. On May 15, 2000, Liu Dongmei invited Fan Yun to view the paintings with the intention of expressing her desire to apologize. Seeing Liu Dongmei's good intentions, Fan Yun had no suspicions and accepted the invitation, going alone to the hotel that Liu Dongmei had prepared in advance. Upon entering the room, Liu Dongmei introduced Wang Lang as the collector of these paintings, causing Fan Yun to let her guard down. When Fan Yun was not paying attention, Wang Lang quickly drew a weapon from within and stabbed her, ending Fan Yun's life on the spot. Seeing Fan Yun collapse, Wang Lang and Liu Dongmei began planning how to conceal the crime. The two decided to drag Fan Yun into the bathroom, dismember her body into several parts, place them into 2 suitcases, and then secretly dispose of them by throwing them into the Pearl River. After completing everything, Wang Lang hurried back to Hainan that night, while Liu Dongmei quickly returned to her hometown to avoid police pursuit. 2 days later, when his wife did not return, Huang Yuxian began to worry and immediately went to the police station to report her missing. He did not know that his own infidelity had driven his wife to her death. At the time of the incident, Liu Dongmei was only 19 years old, in the most youthful and vibrant age of a young woman. However, due to one moment of mistake, she had sunk deeply into an irredeemable quagmire of guilt. After confessing all the crimes, Wang Lang, her accomplice, was also quickly arrested. Friends of Liu Dongmei and Wang Lang could not help but feel sorrow and regret for their promising youth, which had to bear the consequences of a rash moment leading to horrific crimes. The relatives of Huang Yuxian, the victim in the case, also spoke out, criticizing his promiscuous lifestyle as the cause of the incident. They believed that it was Huang Yuxian's own unfaithfulness and womanizing that sowed the seeds of pain and indirectly led to Fan Yun's tragic death. When arrested, Liu Dongmei did not display any feelings of fear or regret. Her indifferent and cold attitude towards the crime surprised many people. Liu Dongmei's parents were in pain, weeping dry tears as they watched their daughter face the consequences of her wrongdoing. On August 16, 2002, the Guangzhou Intermediate People's Court officially sentenced both Liu Dongmei and Wang Lang to death, ordering the execution to be carried out immediately. Upon hearing the verdict, Wang Lang could not contain his anguish and broke into uncontrollable, sorrowful cries filled with regret. In contrast, Liu Dongmei remained unusually calm, her face showing no trace of fear. Even knowing that she would face death, she only slightly frowned, as if she did not care about life or death. On the way to the execution ground, Liu Dongmei even hummed the song Liberation by the female singer Zhang Huimui, her gentle voice as if she had found peace within her heart. Furthermore, the beautiful female prisoner hummed a line of poetry. If there is no destiny, how could this happen? If there is destiny, we must be bound together for life. Damned. After expressing her final thoughts, she smiled sadly, her eyes shining with the serenity of accepting her destined end. When she stepped onto the platform, Liu Dongmei maintained her gentle smile, and just a few minutes later, her life ended at the young age of 21. Liu Dongmei's calmness and lack of fear in the face of death sent chills through many people in the courtroom. One witness couldn't help but exclaim, "I never expected such a beautiful girl to have such a dark heart." Since then, the image of the 21-year-old female prisoner, with a faint smile before her execution, has continued to haunt people's memories.
Ben Rennick was a snake farm owner, as well as a model husband and father. However, Ben's death completely upended the Rennick family's life. As the investigation deepened, the police gradually uncovered horrifying secrets behind what seemed to be Ben's perfect life. However, the case remained unresolved for 3 years due to a lack of evidence to convict the culprit. Question remains: who killed Ben, leaving the police stumped? The truth of the story was only revealed through a phone call from behind prison bars, 3 years after the incident. From there, the sinister conspiracies behind the case were unveiled, shocking the entire nation. Don't be hasty. Watch the entire story below, as the intriguing details are still to come. The horrifying case took place in New Florence, Missouri, USA. On June 8, 2017, on a hot summer day in Missouri, Coroner Dave Colbert, the sheriff of Montgomery County, received an urgent call from a woman.
911, what's the emergency?
My husband's on the ground and there's blood everywhere.
Do you know what happened to him?
No.
Do you know what happened?
No.
So he's not breathing at all?
No, he's cold. He's blue.
Does it look like he's been shot?
Yeah, maybe. No, he got killed by a snake. I need to be out here now, please.
Upon arriving at the scene, Coroner Dave Colbert found the victim, Ben Rennick, lying dead in a pool of blood on the floor. The heartbreaking scene was made even more tragic by the sobbing cries of Lynn Lee, Ben's wife, and the dazed look of Sam Rennick, Ben's brother, who stood silently watching his brother lying in the blood. While both Lindley and Sam Rennick believed that Ben had been killed by one of the snakes he kept, Coroner Dave suspected that the situation was not that simple. During the investigation of the scene, one of the inspectors discovered several shell casings beneath Ben's body and on the surrounding shelves. Moreover, based on the crime scene and the blood spatter, police concluded that Ben had been shot by someone. The autopsy later confirmed that Ben had been shot 6 times, likely dying within 2 hours before Lindley Rennick called 911. Based on these findings, police took Lindley and Sam back to headquarters for questioning. During this process, the secrets hidden behind Ben's life, the owner of Missouri's largest snake farm, gradually came to light. Ben Rennick, 29, was one of the largest snake farm owners in New Florence. He was admired by many, not only for his successful career but also for his happy family. Ben's wife, Lindley Rennick, 34, not only supported her husband in running the snake farm but also operated her own spa. Ben and Lindley began dating in 2011, having known each other beforehand, and sharing the pain of losing their parents at a young age, making them more understanding and empathetic toward each other. It is known that Ben's father committed suicide shortly after his mother's death, leaving the snake farm to Ben to manage. Thanks to his sharp business acumen, Ben transformed the farm into one of the largest snake breeding facilities in Missouri. The relationship between Ben and Lindley quickly progressed, and she soon moved in with Ben in his spacious home in Montgomery County, Missouri. Better take care of him. Not long after, they welcomed their first child, but it wasn't until 2014 that the couple officially married, marking a new chapter in their shared life. While Ben Rennick successfully built his career and became the owner of one of Missouri's largest snake farms, Lindley was also thriving. Not only did she support Ben in the snake farm business, but she also opened her own spa in 2016, utilizing the knowledge and skills she had learned from massage school. Lindley's career also flourished, helping her establish her position in the health and beauty service industry. Couple, with their individual successes, created the image of a successful and happy pair in the eyes of those around them. However, on June 8, 2017, the seemingly perfect life of Ben and Lindley was suddenly shattered by Lindley's scream when she discovered her husband dead at the snake farm. During police questioning, Lindley said that on that afternoon, she received a call from the school informing her that Ben had not picked up the children as usual. Worried by this unusual behavior, Lindley drove to the school to pick up the kids, then returned to the snake farm to find her husband. When Lindley arrived at the snake farm, she was horrified to find Ben lying motionless in a pool of blood. In her panic, Lindley quickly called 911 to report the situation at 6:36 p.m. Meanwhile, Sam Rennick, Ben's brother, believed that his brother might have been killed by one of the snakes that escaped and bit him. Lindley revealed to the police that Ben had planned to sell the 70-acre farm where the family lived. She suggested that this decision displeased Sam Rennick, Ben's brother, as it was their father's legacy. While Sam did not believe his sister-in-law was involved in his brother's sudden death, Lindley delivered a heavy blow by suggesting that Sam had every motive to kill his brother. Faced with his sister-in-law's accusations, Sam admitted he felt hurt by his father's decision to leave the snake farm to Ben instead of dividing the assets equally. However, Sam firmly denied any involvement in his brother's death. After Sam fully cooperated with the police, he was quickly cleared of suspicion. At this point, all suspicion began to fall on Lindley, as she exhibited an unnerving calmness despite her husband's murder. When the police carefully examined Ben and Lindley's social media accounts and computers, they discovered that the couple's life was far from the happy image they portrayed to the outside world. Through Facebook messages, Ben discovered that Lindley had been cheating on him. These clear pieces of evidence forced Lindley to admit the truth, that she had been unfaithful. She confessed to meeting a man named Eric once or twice a month, with the relationship being purely sexual. When the police summoned Eric for questioning, they confirmed that he was traveling with friends at the time of the murder. Therefore, he was removed from the list of suspects. However, this discovery further revealed Lindley's irresponsible and reckless lifestyle. In addition to discovering Lindley's infidelity, investigators also found evidence that she was facing serious financial difficulty. Through Facebook messages, they found that Lindley owed thousands of dollars and was struggling to pay off loans related to her spa business. Lindley's failing business was no longer a secret, and it eventually reached Ben's ears. He had to front many bills for Lindley's spa, from rent to employee salaries to other operational expenses. These financial burdens not only exhausted Ben, but also created an increasing rift between the couple, making their relationship more strained and distant than ever. Notably, before his murder, Ben had signed a major deal worth millions of dollars, intending to sell some rare snakes and anacondas from his farm. This deal not only promised huge profits but could also have been a solution to help Ben overcome the financial pressures the family was facing. Additionally, another crucial piece of information emerged when the insurance agent handling Ben's $1 million life insurance policy contacted the police. They reported that Lindley had tried to claim the insurance money just hours after Ben's death. However, Lindley's actions raised their suspicions, and they decided to withhold payment after learning that Lindley had become a suspect in the case. In an effort to prove her innocence, Lindley agreed to let the police examine her phone messages. From there, the police found numerous messages between Lindley and a man named Mike H. When asked about Mike H's identity, Lindley stated that it was Michael Humphrey, a client she had worked with and also her ex-boyfriend. Michael Humphrey's involvement in the investigation only increased suspicions about motives and other possible individuals involved in the case, making the situation even more complicated. Michael was Lindley's ex-boyfriend, recently released from prison for drug possession. The two frequently exchanged messages and calls, even on the day Ben was murdered. When the police interviewed Michael Humphrey, he revealed that his connection with Lindley was rekindled through Ashley Shaw, the business manager of the spa Lindley operated. Michael claimed that Ashley contacted him for some services for the spa. As a result, he and Lindley began seeing each other, and their feelings gradually reignited. The police continued their investigation and questioned Ashley Shaw, Lindley's close friend and spa manager. Ashley said that Lindley had confided in her that she had met another man named Brandon Blackwell through a dating website. Of course, this relationship was also for Lindley's satisfaction. Ben's wife had a sexual relationship with Brandon just 3 days before Ben was murdered. However, when the police summoned Brandon for questioning, he provided a clear alibi, proving that he was not involved in the murder. Lindley was questioned by the police 6 times, and each time she nearly broke down but continued to vehemently deny any involvement in her husband Ben Rennick's murder. Although the police gathered substantial circumstantial evidence against Lindley, the gunshot residue test on her hands came back negative. Moreover, the police could not find any witnesses, the murder weapon, or direct evidence connecting Lindley to Ben's death. In this situation, the police were forced to release Lindley due to a lack of concrete evidence to charge her in the murder case. However, Lindley remained under investigation, and the case continued to be a significant mystery without a satisfactory resolution. What shocked many was that immediately after her husband's death, Lindley quickly went public with her relationship with Brandon Blackwell, the man she had cheated with before Ben's murder. This action not only stunned those around her but also raised further suspicions about Lindley's true motives in Ben's death. Sam Rennick, Ben's brother, was deeply upset to learn that his brother had died unjustly, while his sister-in-law continued to live a reckless and indulgent life. Sam's anger grew as he realized that his family's loss was not just a personal tragedy, but could also be the result of dark conspiracies and selfish calculations. Amidst the turmoil, Sam began to notice Lindley's social media accounts featuring another man. And not long after, he discovered that his former sister-in-law was pregnant with Brandon Blackwell's child. What is even more notable is that Brandon was married and had 2 children. However, blinded by the promise of money from selling the snake farm, Brandon decided to leave his wife for Lindley. Meanwhile, Lindley Rennick not only continued her relationship with Brandon, but also won a lawsuit against Sam over the ownership of the snake farm that Ben had left behind. After the farm was sold for $740,000, Lindley and Blackwell moved all their children to Columbia, Missouri to start a new life. Heartbroken by what had happened, Sam shared, "I lost a farm that my family spent 40 years maintaining. I could never have imagined losing the farm this way." Sam's loss was not just material, but also the unbearable pain of witnessing the collapse of a family legacy, along with the unjust death of his brother Ben. The investigation into Ben Rennick's death stalled for nearly 3 years. However, a surprising turn of events occurred in January 2020 when the police received a call from Brandon Blackwell's father, who said his son wanted to make a deal with the police. The police agreed to this offer to get a lead from Brandon about Ben's murder 3 years ago. According to Brandon's account, his relationship with Lindley did not last as long as many believe. After moving to Columbia, Missouri, the couple began to face many problems, and their relationship ultimately ended in turmoil in 2019. Lindley accused Brandon of becoming increasingly aggressive and even requested a restraining order to protect herself. Not stopping there, she also accused Brandon of stalking and violating the restraining order, leading to his arrest and imprisonment in January 2020. Feeling angry and betrayed after being kicked out of the game, Brandon decided to seek a deal with the police. With the desire to take revenge on Lindley and possibly reduce his sentence, he was willing to provide valuable information about the death of Ben Rennick. This phone call became the crucial key, revealing new details and pushing the case one step closer to resolution. Brandon Blackwell confessed to the police that a week before Ben was murdered, Lindley told him that she had tried to kill her husband but had failed. According to Brandon's statement, a few weeks before Ben was shot, Lindley and Ashley Shaw, her colleague, conspired to obtain narcotics and planned to poison Ben. Lindley had mixed 15 pills into Ben's smoothie. After drinking the smoothie containing the crushed pills, Ben became seriously ill. Fortunately, he survived. When the poisoning plan failed, Lindley decided to take a bolder step. She then approached her ex-boyfriend, Michael Humphrey, to ask for his help in killing Ben. The two drove to Ben's farm, with Michael preparing gloves and a gun. However, when they arrived, Michael felt uncomfortable and refused to act. Instead, he handed the gun to Lindley, who did not hesitate to enter the farm and shoot her husband to death. On January 16, 2020, 3 years after Ben Rennick's murder, Lindley Rennick and her ex-boyfriend Michael Humphrey were arrested and charged with murder. This marked a significant turning point in the complex and prolonged investigation. However, after their arrest, both Lindley and Humphrey began to criticize and blame each other, making the question of who actually pulled the trigger more difficult to answer than ever. In this context, Ashley Shaw, Lindley's close friend and spa manager, realized that the situation was no longer in her favor. To seek leniency, Ashley decided to betray Lindley and reveal everything she knew about the case. According to Ashley's testimony, Lindley had confided in her about being abused by Ben, making her feel desperate and wanting to escape this painful marriage. For this reason, Lindley sought Ashley's help in executing a cruel plan, poison her husband. Trusting in their friendship, Ashley agreed to help and provided Lindley with the narcotics. Lindley then used the pills to carry out her first attempt to kill Ben. She crushed Percocet pills and mixed them into Ben's drink, intending to poison her husband discreetly. However, Ben miraculously survived. Failure of this attempt led Lindley to resort to more drastic measures. As for Michael Humphrey, he claimed that Lindley had fabricated the story of domestic violence and sexual abuse, leading him to believe her and agree to assist her in her heinous plan. Convinced by Lindley's dramatic words, Michael brought a gun to Lindley's spa, intending for her to use it if necessary. Humphrey continued to tell the police that Lindley had asked him to accompany her to meet Ben, under the pretext that she wanted to gather her belongings to leave Ben for good. However, when they arrived at Ben's snake breeding facility, Lindley brought the gun along. Michael insisted that Lindley had tried to hand him the gun, but he refused to take it. When Ben opened the door, Lindley suddenly shot her husband right at the door. Humphrey recounted the horrifying moment. I turned and ran towards the car parked outside as soon as I heard the first gunshot. That moment, I heard 2 more gunshots. Standing by the car, I asked her what the hell had just happened. In response, Lindley casually said we had to leave immediately. With strong evidence and testimonies from witnesses, Lindley could no longer deny and had to admit to the murder of Ben. Lindley's confession brought an end to the 3-year-long investigation and led to the resolution of the case, with justice finally being served for the victim. In October 2021, Michael Humphrey was tried for his involvement in Ben Rennick's murder. Despite claiming he was not the one who pulled the trigger, the jury found Humphrey guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced him to life without parole. Facing life behind bars, Michael Humphrey changed his testimony. Michael pointed out where the gun was hidden after the crime, in the attic at his girlfriend's mother's house. Michael's new testimony not only confirmed Lindley's role in the murder, but also provided crucial physical evidence that further solidified the case. The gun found at the location Michael identified became direct evidence linking Lindley to Ben Rennick's murder, further revealing the true nature of her crime. After Michael cooperated with the police, helping them recover the murder weapon and agreeing to testify against Lindley Rennick at her trial, his sentence was reduced to second-degree murder, and the possibility of parole was reinstated. In December 2021, Lindley Rennick, 33, went to trial for the murder of her husband, Ben Rennick. At the trial, she testified herself, insisting that Michael Humphrey had pulled the trigger, not her. However, both Michael and Ashley Shaw, the spa manager, adamantly denied Lindley's testimony, calling it a lie. Ashley, as a prosecution witness, swore before the court that Michael Humphrey and Lindley Rennick had planned and executed Ben's murder together. According to Ashley's testimony, their plan was for Michael to go to the spa where Lindley worked. Then the two would go to Lindley's house or the snake farm to kill Ben. Ashley also testified in court that after the crime, Lindley returned to the spa to wash away all traces. She told me to bathe her and asked me to scrub her body and hands thoroughly. Ashley recounted. These testimonies further strengthened the evidence against Lindley. This testimony further clarified the close cooperation between Michael and Lindley in planning and carrying out the crime. Ashley's testimony was a key part of convicting Lindley, showing that the murder was planned and executed deliberately. As a result, Lindley Rennick was convicted of second-degree murder, but received only a 16-year prison sentence. This sentence deeply disappointed Sam Rennick's family. Sam Rennick, Ben's brother, expressed his dissatisfaction. A 16-year sentence is too lenient for Lindley because my brother's life was worth much more than this sentence. My poor nieces and nephews, their lives have been ruined by their cruel mother. Sam's words reflected the immense pain and loss that the Rennick family endured, as well as their anger over the sentence Lindley received. According to the sentence, Lindley will be released from Chillicothe Correctional Center in 2038, the age of 49. Ashley was granted immunity for her testimony, while Brandon's charges were dropped.